Barry's a bar's an accountant who lived in Montreal for quite a while, but he's been living in Toronto since 1983. Barry, I guess you missed Montreal an awful lot, didn't you?
I absolutely do. I left strictly for business reasons, and I always consider Montreal my home.
So that being the case, there are obviously a lot of Montrealers in the same boat as you who, once lived in the city and left for one reason or another. For business to Toronto, I'm sure there are a lot of Montrealers now living in Toronto. You decided, though, to take that, memory of Montreal and turn it into something which I think is really kind of cool. You have a Facebook page, a group called Montreal Memories. So explain, first of all, how you went ahead putting this together and how you managed to get so many people hooked on this site.
I thought it was a labor of love. It's almost 1 year old. We started November 8th, 2010. And I thought, because there's over 100,000 ex-Montrealers living in Toronto, and I have a number of friends that are ex-Montrealers. We're always talking about Montreal. And I know there's a huge gap because hundreds of thousands of people left after the original when the PQ first got in 76,
right,
into the mid-80s. And I thought there has to be a way of getting the Montrealers and ex-Montrealers together. So I said, why not do it on a Facebook group? Because Facebook's a very popular venue. So I decided to do it as a hobby. I started it, not thinking anything would happen about a year ago, and it has taken off. So I'm really grateful and very, very happy.
So what kind of things do you do on the site? I mean, what do you hear from the people who actually post and whatever? What generally gets talked about?
Not surprisingly, the food gets talked about a lot. Montreal is really, really well known for its food, and you don't realize it living in Montreal, but when you leave it, you have these cravings for the Montreal comfort foods. So, but it's all nostalgia of Montreal. The movies, we talk about the Olympics, we talk about the Montreal Canadiens, which we all still love, and people are posting pictures of old Montreal. It's basically a potpourri of everything related to Montreal and its memories.
So you can go there. Obviously, it costs nothing to join. You just join the group. Do you need to be invited to join?
Basically, you punch Montreal Memories in your scroll box, your search box, and you basically ask to join, and I invite you in. It's a closed group, so that's the way it's done. And you actually did interview me on another station I won't mention, and the group at that time only had about 700 members at that time. And the thing is now we have about approaching 1,800 members now.
Wow, it's remarkable. Now, obviously, you have a lot of people there who've gone on in the last, as you just said, 12 months or so. Do you have any stories of people sort of, rediscovering each other from having lived here a long time ago?
Absolutely. I would say there's been thousands of direct and indirect connections from people that used to know each other. It's very, very heartwarming. I'm very, very grateful about that. There's a lot of people that are not from Montreal that are on the site, and they learn to love the city as well, which really is really, really satisfying. And as people are traveling to Montreal based on what they read on the site. So I'm finding that very encouraging as well.
Any stories of someone who's sort of, old boyfriend, old girlfriend got together 20 years later, didn't know where they were, who've met this way?
Yes, there's stories like that all the time. I've met people myself through all different phases of my life, from basically pre-kindergarten to my college days, to people I'm connecting with in Toronto, who I didn't know were in Toronto, but I was friends with in Montreal. And there's so many stories like that. Every individual has their own, and I've met some wonderful people for the first time that I used to be neighbors with, that lived literally a house away from me, that I didn't know at the time, and I know through this site.
That's great. And I should mention as well, as you said, it is free. You can be invited on. Just go on Facebook to Montreal Memories. You'll be invited on, and you can share. And I think one of the really key things about the site is the fact that there are so many photos that are being shared there as well. That really kind of brings back a lot of memories, I'm sure, for people.
Absolutely. And like our profile picture was Old Belmont Park, which most baby boomers and Gen Xers remember with great love. That's where we used to go when we were kids, and it brings back a lot
Yeah.
of nostalgia and happy times.
The Wild Mouse, I lost a lot of change in
Wild
that
Mouse,
ride.
yeah, we haven't
Yeah.
talked about that.
And the Salt and
Everyone's
Pepper
favorite
Shaker, I
ride.
lost a lot of money in that ride too.
Exactly.
No one told you when they put you upside down, money falls out of your pockets. They never told you that at Belmont Park.
Exactly.
Barry,
Exactly.
thank you so much. Appreciate it. And continued success with it. It's called Montreal Memories. It is a Facebook group.